Many people coping with disabilities are struggling to lead what is considered to be a normal life due to the lack of proper facilities and rehabilitation services.
Now, to highlight the issue, one Kenyan man recently departed on a journey from Nairobi to Cape Town, can you believe it, South Africa, in a wheelchair.
Zack Kimotho is taking matters into his own hands, you could say. 8 years after a gunshot to the spine during a carjacking left him paralyzed and in a wheelchair, he is now a champion for people with spinal cord injuries. There are only 2 centers in Africa that can treat him, in Egypt and South Africa. So Kimotho is on his way to Cape Town, on his wheelchair, to seek treatment. He's also raising awareness and funds to build a rehabilitation and trauma center in East Africa to be based in Kenya. Close to 200 people turned up at Nairobi's Central Park recently to see Kimotho off on his 4,000-kilometer journey.
The only way to save me and many other people in a similar condition is to ensure that we support the construction of the Rehabilitation and Trauma Center by the Kenyan Paraplegic Organization, KPO.
Kimotho has teamed up with KPO in his campaign, Bring Zack Back Home, which aims to raise 250 million Kenya shillings or $3 million. If he reaches his goal before reaching Cape Town, Kimotho can stop his trek. 15 million shillings or $170,000 has been pledged so far. Funds for the campaign are being collected through Kenya's pioneering mobile technology, M-Pesa. Organizers say at this rate, they hope to reach their goal within the next 60 days, and the center, with 150 beds for inpatients and facilities for 3 times as many outpatients, could be built within 1 year.
It's the only way you save me from wheeling down to South Africa.
KPO founder and director Tim Wanyoni is also in a wheelchair due to a damaged spine from an attempted carjacking. He got treated in Belgium, but says for many Kenyans, treatment is unaffordable and the existing Kenya Spinal Injury Unit is ill-equipped and underfunded. Some 20,000 Kenyans are in need of this rehabilitation every year. The cost of rehabilitating a single person abroad is pegged at $100,000, and it takes on average 6 to 12 months to complete treatment.
The doctors will tell you the longest you can live is between 12 months and maybe 24 months. And most people actually go home believing that. Within that period, they die out of depression because nobody prepared him to go and live with that kind of condition.
The organizers of the Bring Zack Back Home campaign are also urging the government to implement affirmative policies for the disabled throughout the country and push for disability-friendly infrastructure.
We still have a long way to go because a lot of the places are not accessible at all. There are buildings in this country that are over 2 floors and you have to walk up the stairs. There are buildings which do not have ramps. There are buildings which do not even have toilets for people with disabilities.
Kenya Paraplegic Organization estimates that more than 60% of spinal cord injuries in Kenya are caused by traffic accidents, with about 4 people sustaining spinal cord injuries every day.
Well, joining us now to talk more about his long and courageous journey is Zack Kimotho himself, actually the focus of this campaign, to highlight the hardships people living with disabilities have to endure. Hi, Mr. Kimotho, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi.
So you embarked on your journey a few days ago. Where are you now?
Right now I'm between Kitengela and Isinya, about 68 kilometers from Nairobi City.
How's the journey been?
The journey is tough, I must say. It is hot and it's demanding, but it is good.
I can just imagine that it is hard and demanding, yet you say that you wanted to specifically use your wheelchair to make a point. You want to sensitize people, Kenyans in this case, to the plight of people in wheelchairs. Is that so?
That is true.
Tell me a little bit about that. Why do you feel this really would help send that message home?
It is because there are so many Kenyans on wheelchairs, but after they are discharged from hospital, they just disappear out there, and nobody seems to remember them. So that knowing that there are so many people like me, I thought it is good to bring out that awareness and also to have a way of building a rehabilitation center here in Eastern Central Africa here in Nairobi, Kenya.
And the reason you say it's so important to have this kind of rehabilitation center is because somebody like you were a veterinary surgeon, and because of your accident, you were totally unable now to function. And you feel that that is the case with so many people, and it's really costing the country as a whole too.
Yes, precisely. Many people, after getting the injury, are unable to do their usual duties, even very simple chores that one can do. And even people who are employed there before end up losing their jobs because everybody thinks that somebody who is on a wheelchair cannot deliver. This is lack of awareness in its totality, yes.
Now tell me what you and Mr. Wanyoni, who we also featured in the piece, the director of KPO, what would you like to see come out of your efforts? Are you seeing from the reaction that people really maybe don't understand, and by you doing what you're doing now, want to help and can shape the future?
Yes, I've seen a lot of people coming, even far away, 50 meters away, just to capture what we are doing, because it's like they are not aware exactly what goes on with people with a wheelchair, on wheelchairs, and they would want really to see this person who is actually moving on the road to create this awareness. People are getting aware, people are ready to contribute, which is very positive. Indeed, it's very moving when you find them registering on the M-Pesa, on their mobile phones. It is coming very strongly once they get to know the actual story and how people go through their daily lives in difficulties.
Well, Mr. Kimotho, we really thank you for sharing your story with us, and I really hope you won't finish this journey, because that means you'd have raised all the money you need. And that's Mr. Zack Kimotho, who is a Kenyan advocate for people with disabilities, on his way by wheelchair to South Africa.